Hi everyone, it's Daniel here. Today I'll be ranking every series of Watching. Watching is clearly my favourite sitcom. Yeah, this show is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I have nothing more to say about the show because I've already said everything I wanted to say. Classic sitcom from the 80s and 90s. The show lasted from 1987 to 1993. Written by the brilliant Jim Hitchmoff and starred Malcolm and Brenda, played by Paul Bound and Emma Ray, respectively. And yeah, I absolutely adore this show. I'm going to rank every series or season, however you want to call it. What do you call it? Series or do you call a series a season or a season a series? I don't know. I prefer to call it a series, but yeah. Anyhow, before we start, I've got the complete DVD box set here, which contains all 56 episodes. I've done a review of this fantastic DVD box set. I will leave a link to that in the description, and I'll also leave a link to my second channel, which is dedicated to this fantastic British sitcom. My favourite British sitcom, as a matter of fact. Well, one of my favourites, along with Lady Fools and Horses and Blackadder and One Foot in the Grave. And yeah, so there's the discs. Yeah, they class each season as series, but take The Simpsons, for example. When the DVD box sets came out, they classed every series as a season. So yeah, very nice. I'm going to rank every single series of the show, all 7 series. I won't be counting any of the specials, but I might do a separate video on that. But yeah, before I start, this was really tricky, especially seasons 1 to 4. I think those 4 seasons are the perfect seasons of the show. Series 5, 6, and 7, still love them, but I think the writing in the earlier series was better in my opinion. That's just what I think. If you disagree, then please do let me know. But anyhow, let's get started. So my number 7 is going to be the final series from 1993, and that is Series 7, of course. So yeah. I feel like Jim Hitchmoff was eager to end the series, have the episode where Malcolm and Brenda get married, which that is a fantastic episode. I love that episode. Just a great way to end off the series, and Gerald interferes at the end, when Malcolm and Brenda get on the barge, and it's just fantastic, sweet episode to end off the series. Don't really remember the other episodes though. The Wandering episodes, which Terry came back in first part of that 2-part episode. Of course, played brilliantly by Perry Fenwick. I don't mind them episodes, I've heard people have problems with them episodes, but personally I don't mind them. I think they were quite charming, but yeah, I feel like the writing here wasn't as strong as the earlier series, but I'd still watch it, I love to watch the series chronologically, series 1, 2, 3, up to series 7, including the specials in between and all that. And yeah, still a great series. So yeah, there are some characters that only appear in this series, and kind of seem pointless at this point, but that's just my opinion. But I still really enjoy it. I hate to criticise things, but sometimes I've got to. If you notice, my channel's been really positive, but yeah, sometimes you gotta be negative. But yeah, but I still love the show to death, so don't get me wrong. So yeah, my number 6 is going to be not series 6, but series 5. So yeah, series 5, the longest series of the show, actually, 10 episodes, I know. So the first half focuses on Malcolm and Brenda, who aren't getting along perfectly. They're staying at Auntie Peggy's house, which she lent her house to them. Uncle Bernard, played by brilliantly by Ken Jones. Horrible Lives from Porridge, of course. He comes back unexpectedly and kind of ruins things, and Marjorie thinks something's sketchy in the house, with the Yogi Bear character and whatnot, which of course that's Uncle Bernard, just pretending to be someone else. And so yeah, quite charming. And then the second half focuses on Brenda, moving out to live with her mother and her brother Gerald, and I really enjoy this series. Of course, Malcolm met Lucinda, which I don't think any of us liked Lucinda, to be fair. But you know, luckily Malcolm and Brenda got back together. But reason why I ranked it, reason why I ranked this series higher than Series 7 is because I think there's better episodes, and yeah, it's the longest series, but I still really enjoy it, and gets a thumbs up from me. So the next series on my list, my number 5, is going to be the 6th series from 1992. Oh, by the way, Series 5 aired from 1990 to 1991, so yeah, just letting you know. So yeah, my number 5 is going to be Series 6, so cool. I really enjoyed this series. Brenda met Jonathan in this series. Yeah, Malcolm and Brenda were still seeing each other behind their significant others' backs and all that, respectively. Lucinda and Jonathan, which Jonathan's a doctor, and then the ending's actually absolutely fantastic. Malcolm and Brenda get back together. We find out that Malcolm's not the father of Lucinda's child, and yeah, I feel like Malcolm's personality gets a bit more dim-witted in the later series for some reason, but I'm just looking at the DVD box. I know it's gorgeous, isn't it? But yeah, but I still think he's a great character, and Paul Brown still played him perfectly, in my opinion. But yeah, really enjoyed every episode. There's only 6 episodes of this season series, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm going to go with series. If you want to go with season, that's fine. But yeah, so confuse myself here, sorry. I know. So Series 6 is my 5th favourite watching season, or series. I know. Forget it. Let's move on. So my number 4 is going to be, this is so hard, I know. My number 4 is going to be Series 4. Yeah, we're getting introduced to a new character, Chris. Pamela and David move into their new house with their daughter Sarah. And I think the series is really funny. I love the music as well. That saxophone just like really suits the show, in my opinion. Some really funny episodes as well. Of course, halfway through the series, Brenda gets caught kissing Chris, getting caught by her own sister, as a matter of fact, Pamela. And Pamela tells Brenda to tell Malcolm, and then things get rocky. But luckily the two, make up, and yeah, I think the first half of the series is really strong. The second half I still really enjoy. I mean, come on, you got Auntie Peggy. I mean, she was brilliant. And Marjorie doing the splits, that was a great scene, and yeah. You could definitely tell the characters are, getting older, growing up, moving on, and yeah. I think Series 4 is fantastic, and I mean, the cafe owner, Oswald, he's fantastic. I believe we find out his name in this series, I'm not sure. Yeah, we do, because Brenda works at the cafe for a little while, so cool. Top 3, very tricky. Right, my number 3 is going to be Series 3. I know, I'm trying not to be chronological here, but if I am, I am. But yeah, Series 3, fantastic. I love Series 3. Pamela and David get married at the end of the series. Pamela, found out to be pregnant at the end as well, which is nice. And then Sarah would be born, and then Zelda would be born in at the end of Series 5. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, you got that episode where the episode Deceiving, where Malcolm and Brenda are at this restaurant, and then they catch David with a woman who turns out to be his wife, Charlotte. And then Pamela gets her revenge, and yeah. And then there was a simple explanation, which is absolutely hilarious. Kind of reminds me of Only Fools and Horses, to be fair. Something like, yeah, take the Jolly Boys outing, for example, where Del assumes Raymonda and Raquel were, having a thing, but yeah. Just take that episode, for example. In my opinion, I think Watching is basically the female version of Only Fools and Horses, because you got 2 sisters. One, you got a taller sister and a shorter sister, with 2 different personalities, both live in a flat together, don't have much money, yeah, that sort of thing. But yeah, Series 3 I think is fantastic. Malcolm quits his job. I know that's absolutely mental, but he starts his own business. Yeah, this series onwards, he would focus more on his motorbike business, his motorbike repairing business, and yeah, And Marjorie's funny as ever. I love Marjorie, played by Patsy Byrne. She was fantastic, and of course played Nurse in Blackadder. So thumbs up to series 3. Now this is really hard. So my number 2 is going to be. This is so hard. My number 2, I'm going to go with. I don't know. I'm actually struggling here. Which one do I pick? Right. So my number 2 is going to be. I could change this on any day, but for now, I'm just going to go with series 1. The first series, the only series to be filmed in millimetre film, well, in the location scenes. Yeah, in the studio, of course, will be filmed in videotape, but yeah. Story-wise, I absolutely adore series 1. I mean, Malcolm and Brenda get introduced to each other. Absolutely fantastic, you know. You know, those two, very different, you know, but they work somehow, and, you know, Brenda's really sarcastic in this series, and I just love that. And she's very, very compulsive, especially with a line, so that's, yeah, how to describe it, basically. Which, yeah, I've never been that good at explaining, like, Brenda's personality, but now I've explained it well, and yeah. Series 1's fantastic. I love every episode. Like, I even love the theme song, especially in the credits. What does he see in me? All that, yeah, you know. Especially in the credits version, you know, that was. They used a different version of that, which I think was like the first version, which I actually prefer that version because it sounds more. I don't know, it just sounds more 80s, and I don't know, it's just more slow and yeah, quite relaxing actually, and just a great way to end off each episode. So yeah, I love series 1. This could be my favourite series. You know, we introduced so many characters. This was the only series to have Sidney Clough in it, played by Philip Fox, who obviously played Baldrick in the Blackadder pilot. We get introduced to all the characters in this series. Well, all the main characters. David doesn't appear until the next series, which I'll talk about in a sec. But yeah, still fantastic. I mean, and Malcolm and Brenda, you know, yeah, well, Malcolm gets drunk and admits, you know, that he fancies Brenda. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, but when he flips the coaster, just brilliant scene. So yeah, absolutely fantastic series. I love it. And yeah, so my number 1 is going to be the second series, series 2. Now, I think this series is a slight improvement from series 1, but both are dead close. I absolutely adore series 2. First episode's great, where Malcolm lets go of Brenda and then she falls into the puddle and calls him a pillock. That's absolutely hilarious. I love that. The next episode where they when they go to that club, and then Pamela meets David, and then Terry ends up coming along, and then Malcolm ends up meeting one of his old school friends, Susan Roberts, I meant. Yeah, but yeah, great series. Brenda gets a job at the end because David offers her a job. And yeah, and the episode beforehand is probably one of my favourites. Of course, you got Jeffrey, the dog puppet, you know, which Brenda winds up Malcolm with, and yeah. Oh no, winds Pamela up with. I think, I don't know, I'm trying to remember actually. It's been a little while since. Oh no, I think Brenda winds them both up, to be fair, with the puppet, because Malcolm gave Brenda the Jeffrey, and yeah. If you watch the series for yourself, this will make sense. I'm explaining it terribly, but I'm afraid you've got to get used to that. But yeah, series 2 is fantastic. I love every episode. Actually, there's a couple of episodes called Visiting, where, of course, Visiting Part 1 and Visiting Part 2. Auntie Peggy stays round. Auntie Peggy stays round Malcolm and Marjorie's, and then Brenda stays along as well. And yeah, it's quite a funny episode, but yeah. And Terry, you know, he makes a couple of mistakes throughout the series. You know, Terry's Terry, but yeah. And also, another thing I really like about the series, this was the first series to have the location scenes filmed in videotape, which I actually really like, and yeah, proves the show's aged well. And yeah, it doesn't exactly look like it's from the 80s. It looks like something from like the early 90s or something. Of course, I know shows like Red Dwarf or Goodnight Sweetheart, you know, the location scenes were all filmed in videotape as well, whilst other shows like Only Fools and Horses and One Foot in the Grave would be filmed in millimetre film, even in the 90s. But yeah, I still love this series, and I think series 2 is the best scripted series, the best filmed, and the timing with the humour is just great. I mean, all these actors like know how to make the characters funny and relatable at the same time. So yeah, series 2 is my #1 favourite watching series. So please let me know what your favourite watching series is in the comments. Is it series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Please do let me know. But anyhow, thank you for watching. This has been my ranking of each series of watching. I mean, there's only 7, so yeah, it might not sound tricky, but it is once you've watched the series for yourself. But yeah, I'd highly recommend the first 4 series, but series 5, 6, and 7 are definitely still worth the watch in my opinion, and I still really like them. So yeah, thanks once again everyone, and I shall see you all next time. Take it easy, and peace in a bit.